Guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, then welcome. My name is Mika. In today's video, we're going to talk about one of the main things that I get asked no matter what video I have, no matter what video I post, and I can even put it in the description. Someone is still going to ask me, what boot camp did you attend, that you attended? Yeah, they want to know what boot camp did I attend and does it still exist? Alrighty, now there are some people who have actually signed up for the boot camp that I had went to. I believe they have a new class that's starting on March 29th. I encourage you, if you decide to go that route, if you decide to take whatever boot camp, I encourage you to basically shop around and figure out what boot camp you feel like that is best for you if you choose to go the boot camp route. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to be talking about my boot camp specifically, what it consists of and everything, and then what are some of the things I didn't like about it that I wish I had known, and then last but not least, do I feel like it was worth it knowing what I know now, 9 years later? Alrighty, so as you guys know, your time is valuable, so timestamps are down below. So if you want to jump to whatever part in the video, and let's go ahead and jump right into it. Okay, so as you guys already know, I feel like you guys like know my life story, like like you guys like truly know me at this point. You guys know that I found out about it, the school that I went to, that I found out about it was in 2012. And then I didn't even move on until 4 years later to 2016. So the school that I actually attended, the boot camp that I chose, was called Coleberry School of Data Science and Analytics. And I think they're in the process of changing it now. I think it's like data science and AI or something that they're getting ready to change it to. Not really sure, but that is the name that it is currently right now. Again, I just giving you the information, and I want to tell you about my journey and everything as I went through the boot camp and everything that I learned and how it prepared me for the field. So I signed up for the February 2016 class, and so all the classes at that time was actually online and also in person. Now Coleberry is completely 100% online, so you can actually be in Africa, you can be in India, you can be in Canada, you can be anywhere, and you can still join Coleberry. So it does not matter that you are not a citizen of the United States or anything like that to join the school. So you definitely can. Alrighty, so before class started, I ended up purchasing, I think I went to like Fry's. I think that was the name of the place. It's kind of like Best Buy. I went to Fry's, and they actually, I bought a laptop. I remember I went on my lunch break. I was working in the insurance field, and I actually went on my lunch break, and I went to Fry's, and this was right after I got my tax return, and I went and I got my laptop. The laptop that I purchased was an HP laptop, okay? Now, take note of this. When you do decide to get you a laptop, make sure that it is at least 8 gigabytes or more. I know that there's some on Amazon or whatever that you can get an HP laptop for $177 for 4 gigabyte, but I'm telling you that will not be enough room. Once you get that, and they add, because when you get to the actual school, they're going to need to install software onto your actual laptop. Either one or two things is going to happen. One, if you already own a laptop and it only has like 4 gigabytes on it, and you already have stuff downloaded on there, they're probably going to ask you to delete some of that stuff, because that, with you only having 4 gigabytes, that Visual Studios and that SSMS is going to take up the vast majority of your laptop. Or they're probably just going to tell you, we can't even install it because there's just not enough room. So yeah, so I purchased an HP laptop. Now, some of you are probably going to say, I have a Mac, so can they install it there? I believe they do actually have a Mac version that they can also install as well. So I don't think it's only just HP. I think they do have Mac as well. So they don't just have Windows, they do have Mac. So I believe that. So you're going to meet every Saturday from 9 a.m. until 1 o'clock p.m. and then every Tuesday from 6:30 until 9:30 p.m. and these times are Central Standard Time. For the first 6 weeks, you're going to learn SQL, and that is half the class. Okay, because the class is only for 12 weeks. That's half. That's how important they know SQL is. So that's going to be the first 6 weeks. It is going to be very intense. It's going to start off kind of slow, and then it's going to ramp up real quick. After the SQL, then for 3 weeks after that, you're going to learn about reporting. So the last 3 weeks of the class, you're going to learn about SSIS, which is going to be your ETL, which is extract, transformation, and load. After the 12-week boot camp, you can officially go and apply for a job. Now, the part that I took on, which was the second phase, this is the part that some people do and some people don't. This is probably where you're going to struggle, because the second part is going to be the part that is completely self-paced. So when you finish the 12-week boot camp, you show Colaberry that you can actually do it. But when you get to that second phase, this is showing yourself or telling yourself how bad you want it. This part is going to basically determine how hungry you are to actually get into the field. This part right here only took me 6 weeks to complete, because for me, I didn't have an option. Failing was not an option for me. I had 2 kids, and sometimes the light was on and sometimes it wasn't. And sometimes the water was off and sometimes it wasn't. So me not completing or me stalling was not an option for me. So there is no instructor. There is no one telling you, hey, get up, do your assignment. No one saying, hey, get up, make sure you turn in that homework, or you need to be studying. No one is there to do that. This is the part where you're going to have to turn off Netflix. You're going to have to turn off Prime. And listen, boo-boo, I get it. They got all these new shows out. Listen, I've been, I'm trying to get caught up on Hulu with this Paradise, and I'm trying to get caught up on that, or 0 Day on Netflix. I'm trying. But my thing is that you're going to have to treat this program like it is a full-time job. I did it as a single mother working a full-time job with 2 kids. Yes, I did. I worked and I went through this program, and it was a lot. I used to have sticky notes as well. And I had one sticky note that I used to put over that was on my headboard. And it used to say, every day or every night that you are not studying is every day you have to go back to that job you hate. So I made sure that I had something visual in my face that kept me motivated to make sure, because yes, of course I wanted to quit. Of course I was tired, because I had to get up, take kids to school. And so I would get up and get me kind of situated. Then I get up and make sure the kids were up and they got some cereal, and I'm packing backpacks and then trying to get them dressed and brush their teeth, and out the door we go. And I'm dropping one child off at daycare and another one off at school, and then I'm off to work. And then I'm working until about 4 o'clock. Then next thing you know, I have to leave and sit in traffic, and then come back and pick up my son who's in after school care, and my baby boy who is in daycare all day. Come home, feed them, make sure homework is done or projects are worked on or whatever. Make sure they ate, got a bath, watch the little TV before they go to bed. And now once they're done with that, after I'm done cooking and I've fed them and all of that, now I have to put them in the bed, and now I got to clean the kitchen up, and I have to get everything situated, and I'm exhausted. And sometimes it's like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and I'm tired, and I still ain't even got a bath yet. I'm tired. But my thing is that even though I'm tired, I couldn't stop, because that wasn't an option. I didn't have help. So it wasn't designed for you to be in this part that they call IPBC. It wasn't designed for you to be there months at a time. It wasn't. It was meant for you to constantly keep moving, because again, this phase, you're just showing it how bad you want it. Now we're trying to see how hungry you are during this phase. That's what they're trying to figure out. But I also have a sticky note that is on my, another sticky note that I had that was on my mirror that was in the bathroom, and I saw it every day when I brushed my teeth and every night when I got ready to go to bed. And I remember when I first heard it, it was kind of harsh. I was like, dang, that was kind of rude. And it actually says, being broke is a choice. And that's what I looked at every day. Because, honey, I was broke. I was broke. Not paycheck to paycheck, honey. Paycheck till Monday. Because when I got paid on Friday, I was broke Monday. So I finished that portion. I finished that in 6 weeks. And so that part is you're going to actually learn about, they're going to give you a mortgage project. Now, the part after that, for me, this part was added after I had completed the program. So now there's another part where after you learn how to do your mortgage project, now you get to choose what do you want to specialize in. So as you already know, I am a data analyst that specializes in SQL. And one of the top questions that a lot of people ask me is, Mika, how did you basically critique your skills when it came down to SQL? So back when I was actually in the boot camp, on my way to work every morning, I had a whiteboard that was on my wall. And I used to write a SQL query every day before I left to go to work. And then on my lunch break, I would actually try to solve that actual SQL query before I got home. That hands-on approach actually made a difference when it came to my journey to becoming a data analyst. But the good thing is that now there is an easier way for you to actually achieve this goal. Now, if you have the same dream, but maybe you want to say, I want to get better at problem solving or something like that, then you definitely want to check out today's sponsor, Brilliant. Brilliant helps you get smarter every day with thousands of interactive lessons in math, science, programming, data analysis, and even AI. Their interactive lessons make learning engaging and effective. So instead of just watching tutorials, you're actually solving real problems. When I was learning data analysis, I'm the kind of person that feels like I actually had to have hands-on in order for me to really grasp it and understand it. That's exactly what I love about Brilliant. Their lessons challenge you to think critically, apply what you're learning, and truly retain the knowledge. One of the biggest challenges as an aspiring analyst is learning how to break down complex problems and find solutions. Brilliant is designed to help with that. Their bite-sized lessons make it easy to stay consistent, even if you only have a few minutes a day to study. So I know a lot of you guys are like balancing like family and full-time jobs and kids, and maybe you even going to school, or maybe you even self-teaching yourself how to become a data analyst. But the one thing that all of you guys actually do have in common is that I know that all of you guys have your phone. And that's the great thing about Brilliant. Brilliant allows you to learn anywhere, so you can level up on the go. If you're serious about becoming a data analyst, Brilliant data science courses will help you build strong foundations, perfect for beginners and experienced learners, covering data visualizations, algorithms, regression models, and more. If you want to take your data skills to the next level, try everything Brilliant has to offer for free for a full 30 days by visiting brilliant.org/housecalldewberry2 or scanning the QR code on the screen. You can also click the link in the description to get 20% off an annual premium subscription. I want to give a huge thanks to Brilliant for sponsoring today's video. So you can specialize, you can choose if you want to be a Power BI developer, if you want to learn Tableau, if you want to learn Click, or you want to dive deeper into data warehousing ETL. Once you choose your specialty, then you'll have the opportunity to learn your tool. Then they'll go ahead and allow you to get ready to prepare to hit the market. And so that's when you're going to be on the launch. And within the launch, that's when you're going to be able to create your resume and your LinkedIn. And then after that, they're going to assign you a virtual assistant who's going to start applying for jobs on your behalf. So that's the great thing about Collaberry, is that you do not have to apply for jobs. All they want you to do is just study and prepare. And so what's going to happen is your virtual assistant will be applying for jobs for you based on what you want. I am going to say this. What is it that I wish that they had done or taught me before I got placed in the field? Well, number one, Excel. Collaberry does not teach Excel. Collaberry does not teach anything when it comes to Excel. The only portion you know about Excel when it comes to Collaberry is basically using it to upload your data from an Excel sheet into your Power BI platform or Tableau, or use it for your ETL, you know what I'm saying, because it's a source that you're using or something. But they don't teach you like HLOOKUP, VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, the things that you actually do need in the field. So I am going to say that if you come through Collaberry, please make sure that you learn Excel on the side, because you will need that as a data analyst. Another thing is, I wish that the second portion, like the IPVC, before they started talking about whatever, before you choose your specialty, I wish that part was actually had an actual structure as well, where they had someone holding you accountable for making sure that you get through the program, because they lose a lot of people right here. Because again, a lot of people are just not disciplined. Some people need that push. Some people know that they need that deadline. Oh, okay, I know I got to finish this homework up before I got to do my homework because class is on Tuesday. But if you don't have anything that's making sure that, if you don't have anything that's holding you accountable, then you'll be like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. And then when tomorrow comes, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Or, you know, when I got time, I'll do it this weekend for real. And next thing you know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month has gone by since the last time you turned in an assignment. And that's how people get stuck in IPVC for months at a time. Another thing that I wish that Collaberry would have taught me before I got into the field was more on the Agile. Even though in IPVC they introduced to me Agile, but it's in a document, so you're reading it, This is the reason why I know I can't be self-taught, simply because that I don't know how important agile really is, or I don't know the extent of the importance of it, right? So I read it, but I didn't understand it. I didn't really take the time to really dive into it. So even though a lot of it was talking about sprints and stories and agile and scrum and all of that, and they teach you the difference between agile and waterfall, but I didn't even really grasp that until I got in the field. And once I got in the field, they was like, oh, our everyday stuff is waterfall, but when we work on major projects, then we do agile. And honey, let me tell you something. That was the craziest thing ever, because I couldn't figure out really how agile really worked, even though I read about it, but I didn't understand it. They showed us how to read business requirement documents, which are BRDs, but they didn't show us how to gather requirements, because as a data analyst, you're gathering requirements quite a bit, especially if you're not working with a business analyst or your business analyst is doing other things. So if your business analyst cannot gather those requirements for you, then you have to gather your requirements. That's something I have to do a lot. I have to gather my requirements a lot. And so that is something that I had to learn to do in the field, because Colabert doesn't teach you how to gather requirements. It teaches you how to read business requirements because a business analyst wrote it. But what do you do when you don't have a business analyst? What do you do when you have to gather it? And Colabert didn't teach me that. Do I think it's worth it? Based on what I know now, 9 years later, yes, I do think boot camp is worth it. And I'm not just saying that just because I actually went through boot camp. I really do think that, because Colabert really does give you the true knowledge that you need to be successful. Like I said, when you get done just with the 12-week boot camp, you can be a software engineer or a data analyst. Pick or choose, honey. It don't matter. I do think it's worth it. I really, really do, because you do get to learn a lot in a short amount of time, and there has been a lot of success when it comes to boot camp. But what I would do differently is I would make sure that I knew Excel before going into this, and I probably would have chose Tableau as my tool. I mean, data warehouse, ETL as my tool. That probably would have been my tool that I would have chose. I probably would have wanted to learn more about the ETL and about data warehouse, because I do specialize in SQL. And so since I'm running packages and having to deal with queries a lot, I think that would have been more up my alley. I do think that boot camps are definitely worth it, especially when you're kind of person who's saying, listen, I don't have 2, 3, 4 years. What I have is right now. When you got that right now spirit, yeah, boot camp is for you. And so and that's what I had that right now spirit. I got that instant gratification, that instant just add water, need a job type vibe. That's what I had. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you have any questions, you can definitely put that down in the comment down below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, because that do actually help my channel out a lot. Like, comment, and you can subscribe. And then until the next time I see you, I hope you have a good one. Have a good night. Night. So they're going to give you the license and everything that you need to either, have your Power BI or your Tableau or your Click or Data Warehouse or whatever. So they're going to give you the tools that you need to be able to do that. And so you're going to learn everything that you need to know about your tool, and then you're going to get the opportunity to create your very own project. This is something that you need, especially when you do not have any prior experience. So you want to make sure you're creating your project. What you're failing to see is that while you're creating your project and working on your step-by-steps and your problem statements, guess what you're creating, people? You guessed it, your portfolio. A lot of people don't know when they're coming through the boot camp and they're creating their projects that they have no clue that they're building their portfolio. And that is what Collaberry will actually do for you. They'll allow you to build your portfolio, and they actually already have a free platform for you to be able to house your portfolio. Now, if you decide that you don't want to house it on GitHub or Canva or whatever, or Notion, you can always, Collaberry does offer a networking location or platform for you to be able to house your actual portfolio. Once you're done with that, then once you feel like you're pretty much, your portfolio is just about done, then they'll go ahead and allow you to get ready to prepare to hit the market. And so that's when you're going to be on the launch. And within the launch, that's when you're going to be able to create your resume and your LinkedIn. And then after that, they're going to assign you a virtual assistant who's going to start applying for jobs on your behalf. So that's the great thing about Collaberry, is that you do not have to apply for jobs. All they want you to do is just study and prepare. And so what's going to happen is your virtual assistant will be applying for jobs for you based on what you want. So if you tell them that I specialize in Power BI, they're going to apply for Power BI jobs and business intelligence jobs and like that, but they won't apply for Tableau jobs because they know that you specialize in Power BI. So there'll be like a whole questionnaire that you're going to fill out, so that way that they know that they are applying for the right jobs on your behalf. When you have an interview request, they will notify you and tell you that this company wants to meet with you and set up a time to talk to you. They're going to give you their name, they're going to give you the company, they're going to give you the job description, they're going to give you everything. You do not have to apply. Those virtual assistants are applying anywhere between 75 to 100 jobs for you a day. And I do mean that, a day. And so some of the people who are applying for jobs are going on 2 to 3 interviews, sometimes a week. So that's just the way it is. And so after that, we do have some people who are on the market for about a month, 2 months, and then they get an offer. So that's just pretty much how it is. So that's the great thing about Power BI. That's the great thing about Collaberry, because when you come into that second phase, you do have, I believe that if you pay it in full, I think it's like $12,000. But otherwise, you do have the opportunity to defer your payment until placement. So they do have refinancing for you. They have financing for you. They have financing options for you. So that way you're not coming out of pocket $12,000 or $15,000 or whatever it costs today. So that way you're not coming out of pocket for that. Back then they were taking 15% of whatever your offer was. Child, they was asking more than the Lord. I was like, wow, he only asked for 10. Why are you asking for 15? So I'm just saying. But yeah, so back then it wasn't a set price. It wasn't set to 15,000 or 12,000. It wasn't set to that. It was set to, okay, if your offer was 105, you got to pay us 15% of that. And it just, once you pay that 15% off, then that was it. So it's not every month. You just pay the 15%. Now they gonna take the amount that you owe. So what, 105? So let's just say that I got paid $105,000 a year, right? So my offer is $105,000, and so my 15% will be $15,750. So they would take that $15,750 and then they would divide it into 12 monthly payments, or they would divide it into 24, 18, 48, however long you needed to pay them back. And that's what Collaberry did until they started doing the financing option, and they set it to set to a fixed rate of $15,000. And so that's gonna be it. And that's pretty much Collaberry in a nutshell. I am going to say this. What is it that I wish that they had done or taught me before I got placed in the field? Well, number one, Excel. Collaberry does not teach Excel. Collaberry does not teach anything when it comes to Excel. The only portion you know about Excel when it comes to Collaberry is basically using it to upload your data from an Excel sheet into your Power BI platform or Tableau, or use it for your ETL, you know what I'm saying, because it's a source that you're using or something. But they don't teach you like HLOOKUP, VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, the things that you actually do need in the field. So I am going to say that if you come through Collaberry, please make sure that you learn Excel on the side, because you will need that as a data analyst. Another thing is, I wish that the second portion, like the IPBC, before they started talking about whatever, before you choose your specialty, I wish that part was actually had an actual structure as well, where they had someone holding you accountable for making sure that you get through the program, because they lose a lot of people right here, because again, a lot of people are just not disciplined. Some people need that push. Some people know that they need that deadline. Oh, okay, I know I got to finish this homework up before I got to do my homework because class is on Tuesday. But if you don't have anything that's making sure that, if you don't have anything that's holding you accountable, then you'll be like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. And then when tomorrow comes, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Or, you know, when I got time, I'll do it this weekend for real. And next thing you know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month has gone by since the last time you turned in an assignment. And that's how people get stuck in IPBC for months at a time. Like I said, I didn't have that opportunity to spend months. I literally hated my job with a passion. So I used that fuel, I used that hatred to make sure that I continue to work and allow my kids to be motivation for me as well, to make sure that I kept going. On the Saturdays, we gave up birthday parties and hanging out with friends and things like that, because on Saturdays when I got out of class, I would spend another 2 hours doing homework or researching or writing note cards and things like that, and I'm studying. And so I would actually create queries before I would go to work. And so I would like to create a video talking more about how I used to study and prepare for, you know, my interviews and things like that, and that helped me, because it only took me 4 tries before I got an offer. So, but I would like to talk more about it, but I would really hone in on studying and preparing myself, you know, so that way I can always be ready and things like that. So that's that. Also on Saturdays, Collaberry does host what they call IPBC Saturday, and this is where you pretty much learning everything you need to know about interviews, and they're prepping you for interviews and all of that. So that's also a great thing. Another thing that I wish that Collaberry would have taught me before I got into the field was more on the agile. Even though in IPBC they introduced to me agile, but it's in a document, so you're reading it. This is the reason why I know I can't be self-taught, simply because that I don't know how important agile really is, or I don't know the extent of the importance of it, right? So I read it, but I didn't understand it. I didn't really take the time to really dive into it. So even though a lot of it was talking about sprints and stories and agile and scrum and all of that, and they teach you the difference between agile and waterfall, but I didn't even really grasp that until I got in the field. And once I got in the field, they was like, oh, our everyday stuff is waterfall, but when we work on major projects, then we do agile. And honey, let me tell you something, that was the craziest thing ever, because I couldn't figure out really how agile really worked, even though I read about it, but I didn't understand it. Oh, you did not